This is the Healthcare Marketplace Specialization, Healthcare Marketplace Overview. My name is Steve Parenti, and we're at Module 5.3.3. Who owns the technology? Is it safe? This is part of our Medical Valuation Overview segment. So when we get to this notion of user evaluation, there's the thought of going to the physicians and asking them what they would like about this technology for mitral valve surgery repair. The advantages are that there's no need for open heart surgery. That's great. Physicians and patients can intervene earlier, reduce surgery time, less recovery time, and thus much reduced healthcare expenditures, giving value back. The disadvantage is that you're not able to perform an annuloplasty, which is something that could maybe be able to give you more flexibility for later procedures. Surgical bailout is very difficult. You might have to do open heart surgery anyway. You have to contend with the adoption of a new procedure and also the over-penetration of potentially patients that are asymptomatic and may not necessarily need this. So the current market actually does have other technologies that are in place for a lot of major firms, eValve, Viacor, Myocor has turned into Edward Life Sciences. And so it's not exactly the case that you have a complete clear pathway here in terms of deploying technology. If we do a SWOT analysis for this, what we find, first of all, under strengths is that it's less invasive than surgery. There's real-time feedback. It's for early intervention. It could be a predicate technology. It could lead to reduced disease progression. It can basically get the volume of valve surgeries increasing in the U.S., which would be helpful for the market, and repair surgeries increasing versus replacement. Opportunities is a global market. Cardiac physicians are all over the place. Global incidence of MR and interventions. There's an aging population that could be using this as well. It could really improve functionality for certain folks. Possible target for acquisition, more cost-effective than most alternatives, and it can complement other technologies. Weaknesses, it's not really intended for ischemic or functional mitral valve problems. Physicians are not really trained to use the device, maybe more complicated than the current surgeries, actually, and you can't perform the annuloplasty. Threats, of course, there's competition out there, substitutions, some clinical trial concerns, and just getting it to market. Market size is actually pretty substantial. Of folks that have this type of medical condition, cardiac-wise, we're talking 70 million worldwide. If we actually reduce it down to folks in the developed world that would have access to such a technology, it would be about 60%. And then those that are candidates for the procedure, where it would make the most sense with the right procedures, it turns out to about an 84,000 person market, very substantial market. This concludes our segment on sizing and the safety of the technology at hand.